The COVID pandemic has created economic insecurity. Even people who have been able to feed themselves every day of their lives are challenged to keep food on their table 7 days a week. Franklin County Community Meals Program has teamed up with Brad's Place Restaurant to feed Greenfield's hungry by providing 2 meals a week safely through social distancing and special procedures.
Hunger is absolutely on the rise due to COVID, and we have been able to see that on the ground at our programs. But with COVID, it's easier to see that when you have vulnerable members at the bottom tier of your society, when something like a pandemic comes about, our resiliency is really challenged, and we get to see what we're capable of as a community and as a society while our most vulnerable population actually increases. There's absolutely a need for us to all show up and take care of each other through this experience.
You know, we make potatoes during the day, we get vegetables ready during the day, we get pork ready during the day, whatever the main entree is, getting it all ready to go, and this, that, and the other thing, and it is a team effort, and I appreciate it, and I hope the people over here appreciate it too, and I think they do. We don't know how many meals to do. We start with 80, but there's days when they can have, you know, over 100, and you want to make sure everybody gets fed, and that can be a challenge to make sure you have enough. Usually we start with 80 and we're pretty good. I'll be ready for another 10 more if need be.
Once Dan packages up the meals, meal coordinator Shane Trudeau delivers them to the distribution center at Second Congregational Church.
But I've noticed a lot of people losing their food stamps.
Right.
And including me. They gave me $16 one month, last month. I got a 4-year-old. $16 going to get him milk for 3 days. And I'm fortunate enough to have some money to provide for him, but still, it's hard.
One of the most incredible parts of what we've experienced during this pandemic is the enormous outpouring of support that we've seen from the community. So through all of this extra effort that we've had to do, we've never felt more supported. And we really want to put our gratitude out there and say thank you to the community for that support. And to ask you that now as we go into winter and COVID is not actually over yet, that we continue to support each other and that we continue to come together to make sure that businesses, organizations, individuals can continue to do the things that they're doing, and specifically in the context of our mission, that we can continue to feed people.
What we need is sponsorship from groups in the area. Can be anyone. Anyone. I had private families. We have different religious organizations, churches, different men's groups, women's groups, this, that, and the other thing, just civic organizations that want to help out.
It's absolutely true that COVID has brought an enormous challenge to all of us, both on an individual level as well as on an organizational level. Not only is food insecurity on the rise and we're seeing more people coming to our sites than ever before, but as an organization, we've had to step up the work that we're doing. So all of our staff are working extra hours, driving extra mileage, picking up extra food, and redesigning all of our programs to really be able to function during this time. So it's really important that we recognize the immense work that we're all putting into continuing to operate as a community, and for us specifically as an organization, continuing to make sure that we're taking care of the most vulnerable members of our community.
And before COVID, when the community meal ran, we had about 50 businesses that would come put on a community meal.
Right.
All home cooked in the church, but now with the new rules and social distancing, it's different. Things got tough, but we're still out here feeding people.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a good time. Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. I'll wait for you now. Can you see me?
It all started one day when I went down to the local sandwich shop to get one of my favorite beverages.
Can I get a root beer with coffee and ice?
Sorry, but I can't help you today.
Even though I'd come in during after hours, I still wondered why Dan couldn't help me. And I saw all these meals in front of me. I figured, wow, all of Greenfield's having meatloaf tonight. Just about 100 orders sitting there on the counter. And I wondered what was going on. So I left, not wanting to bother him anymore, and did a little research. Well, I found out that Dan was using his own time to make meals twice a week to feed hungry people in Greenfield. And he was working with the Franklin Community Meals Program. So I decided to come in and take a picture of Dan doing this great deed. tweet just to say on my Facebook page, "Good job, buddy." Well, we got a lot of response. And someone suggested that I do a short film piece about this. Our local newspaper did an article using my photograph right on the front page, and the outpouring of support and donations were tremendous. So I got right to work on that. But the first thing I wanted to make sure of is that we could do this and use social distancing and be safe in the middle of this pandemic. Is this the man that makes French fries well done?
Well, it depends. If it's somebody who orders a root beer and coffee, we're not open for them.
Okay. Only for people who order root beer and coffee mixed.
Philip?
Dan,
Yep.
Philippe, how are you?
You could talk to Rachel for a minute. We'll probably start filming at, 4:15?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm asking Thomas now. Probably about 4:15, sure.
Okay, great. And you'll be wearing a mask and gloves, right?
Yeah.
I will be wearing masks and gloves so that I can distribute sterilized microphones, wireless microphones, for you guys to wear, and that way I can, keep it a distance.
I was just saying at our site as well, we all will be wearing masks and gloves as well for the distribution, so it'll all be kind of part of.
Great. Since our director Nick has such incredible technical skills and knowledge, it always suits one well to confer with him about what you're going to do when you're filming. Nick gave me the following advice. I'm wondering if I film this in 4K, if I do 4K on this, then it would match a lot.
Well, I would definitely film in 4K, if
Yeah.
for no other reason than one of the things you can do is apply anti-shake, and because your output's going to be in 1080, you've got all that frame that you can use to stabilize it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely do that.
Okay, good. Discussing the story's contents always helps not only the person filming, but especially the person who's being interviewed, to jog their thoughts and to get their words into order.
Breaks, as we said before, to break some of the stigma away. Talk a little bit about maybe the economy. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I would love you to educate people on why people need that little extra meal a week.
Then your subject is ready to deliver what they want to say.
Hunger is absolutely on the rise due to COVID, and we have been able to see that on the ground at our programs.
You may find that when interviewing subjects, you'll need to do additional takes. Things are not always said perfectly. And although the interviewees think that they're absolutely being annoying to us, we expect this. It's absolutely normal and 100% standard. It also helps to bring out the person's inner character with a little bit of fun, a little bit of laughter, and a few mistakes to help ease the tension.
Let me start over somewhere. Did that feel good?
Yes.
Let me cut that and say something else there. I mean, I said what I want to say, so that's good material, but I want to say something. Due to the vulnerability,
Looking back on all this process, I think I've definitely learned something. Something besides the fact that I might need to do a few sit-ups. I've also learned where the sidewalk ends and the grass begins. And the most wonderful thing that I learned was the spirit of giving. And that's what Thanksgiving really means. It's not about the turkey or the stuffing in particular. Of course, it's great to have food, and people need food, so we'd love to share it with them. It's a natural human thing. But I think what we're celebrating our thanks. And we're celebrating our thanks for the way that we come together in unity and solidarity to create the abundance that we need to get us through the hardest time of the year here, the winter. And it's that we celebrate, how we all come together and make it happen.